Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order our El Centro City Council meeting for July the 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Madam City Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Councilmember Oliva,
Present.
Councilmember Garcia,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Marroquin,
Present.
Mayor Cardenas Singh.
Present. Thank you so much. Mr. Ivan Murillo, please, if I could ask your team or a couple of your members if you could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Put your right hand over your heart, left hand behind your back. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. If I could please ask you to remain standing and please keep your hats off. At this time, we will have Council Member Ms. Sonia Carter lead us in invocation.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you just simply saying thank you. We thank you for the days that are coming, the days that are here. We're asking you, Lord, to bless this team as they travel, as they go along their way. Bless every single last child, every single last family. This is a community event, and we're asking you, Lord, just to take control of everything. We're asking for you to go out in the city and bless the homeless, Lord. Go out and provide the needs that they need to get shelter, to get water, to get food. It is hot. It's hot for us, so we know it's hot for them. Let's have a partial heart to everybody, Lord, and we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. If you could please be seated.
Yeah, I can't get enough water.
All right. It's an exciting day for the city of El Centro. Great celebrations that are going to take place and recognitions today. So really excited about the meeting before us. At this time, Madam City Attorney, if you could please report out on closed session.
There's no reportable action from closed session today, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I actually have a request and would like to ask for your support. I would like to move item number 14, which is the appointment of our city manager. If I could please move that item to actually take place after the presentations and the announcements and before our consent agenda. Do I have consensus with that?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. Great. All right. I'll move us along into the portion of our agenda that is public comment. This is a public meeting. If there's an item on the agenda on which you wish to be heard, you are asked to complete a blue speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Persons wishing to address the council are not required to identify themselves. However, this information assists the mayor by ensuring that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized and also assists the city clerk in preparing the city council minute meetings. When the item is announced and your name is called by the mayor, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Unless the mayor extends your time, there is a 3-minute time limit for each public presentation. If you wish to address the council on any other matter not appearing on the agenda, you may do so during the public portion of the agenda item. However, you may not show a visual presentation without the review of that material. If you do so, you will be considered out of order. Madam City Clerk, I have 2 blue speaker slips. Is there any additional slips?
None, Mayor.
All right. And is there anyone virtually online?
No one.
All right. At this time, I would like to invite Joselito, please, to the podium. And Joselito, I know that you are part of our family, so for formalities, I will make sure that I put your name on record. So it's Joselito Villero and Joy Villero Unto. Lindo, I'm sorry. Wonderful, thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Joselito Villero, a resident of El Centro. I came here with my sister.
I'm Joy.
Full name?
I'm Joy Lindo.
Where are you from?
I'm visiting from Canada.
She's visiting from Canada. And we are here together to express our gratitude to the council members and to the city managers, manager, wait, is that correct title?
Interim city manager.
Interim city manager, and Mayor Martha Cardenas Singh for presenting a resolution to my mother in celebration of her 100th birthday celebration last July 1. It was an honor for Mayor Martha Cardenas Singh to present the resolution on a 4 or 5 day weekend when I think she has her own plan to have the vacation with her family. And we appreciate it so much. Even my cousins and my family members were so surprised to see the mayor of El Centro present at our celebration. And it was an honor that they have told me. Thank you for that one. And here's the resolution, by the way. Here's the resolution.
Yes, wonderful.
Thank you so much. I'll show it to you. And I would like also to recognize one of our firefighters who had an opportunity to rescue my mother also. Chapin.
Oh,
And thank you so much. Joy, do you have, please say a few words.
Yes,
I
please.
would just like, on behalf of our family, I would like to express our deep gratitude and appreciation for the proclamation awarded to our mother. Thank you, Honorable Cardenas, and the whole city of El Centro.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will share, it is a true blessing to attend a birthday party that has 3 digits on a birthday cake, and it was just a beautiful blessing for a beautiful person. So thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me the honor of attending your mother's birthday. So thank you. All right, at this time, I will go ahead and call Alejandro Lopez and Al Ala. Yes?
Don't get scared.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. So my name is Alejandro Lopez. I'm a part owner in a local company here, Complete Metal Fabrication. And this is Al, who's with Top Builders and is also a company here in El Centro. And we just wanted to introduce ourselves and be taken into consideration for the new project that was put out to bid for the El Centro Police Department. So we will be formally submitting a bid. I just want to point out that at Complete, who will be working hands-on as far as the construction management side of it, you know, we have experience with contracts over $45 million. And all of the contractual scheduling and submittal obligations that come with that is nothing that is, you know, unknown to us. So we, just want to introduce ourselves, and here's Al as well to kind of speak a little bit as far as the hands-on experience that we do have with work.
Thank you, Alejandro. So yes, basically my name is Al, and we are owners of Top Builders Construction. I just wanted to introduce myself, make sure to put a face on the name. And I grew up here in El Centro, and we started as a really small company, my wife and myself in an office, and we're growing, and we think we're ready to move on to bigger projects. And these are the projects that we want to be involved with. So I just wanted for you guys to put a face, and we're gonna be out there. We've done some small jobs for the city, the bus stop, and those jobs, but we're ready to tackle bigger jobs now. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so
guys.
much. I appreciate
you.
the introduction.
Thank
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, just before I close this portion, is there any other public comment, blue speaker slips, or anyone online? Wonderful. Then I will go ahead and move us on to presentations and announcements. Item number 1 is our El Centro Little League Section 7 Junior Division All-Star Champs. If I could please invite Mr. Ivan Murillo to the podium.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and City Council. I just want to tell you thank you for all your help, everything you've done. These boys wouldn't be here without you guys. Back in 2017, I set a vision in motion to make El Centro Little League a better league than it was when I came in. Most of these boys have suffered through defeat, have gone to championships, lost them. You've been part of them. And it's honored to see them come together. And Rick made a promise to me in 2021 when we lost to Parkview that we'd come back and take it. Thank you for fulfilling it. And representing El Centro. And now we move on to more historic and Southern state champions. And a lot of these boys have grind, have blood, sweat, and tears, have left it on the field. And I just want to present them.
Yes, please.
Come on up, boys.
Just line up here up against the wall.
And
There you go.
I'll introduce the man of the hour, manager Rick Sanchez. Coach Uri Luna and Coach Jose Salcido. Without them, we wouldn't be where we're at, and hopefully we'll keep on making history and really define El Centro and put us on the map. So with that, I honor you with the game ball. Hopefully some of these will be MLB players someday.
All right, speak it. Thank you. And at this time, the City of El Centro presents a certificate of recognition to the El Centro Little League All-Star Champions, California Junior League Section 7. The City of El Centro congratulates you on becoming the Junior League Section 7 champions. It's with great honor that you wear the name of El Centro in the front of your jersey as you represent us. We wish you great luck on the game to come tomorrow, and to the coaches and to the parents for your many, many hours of dedication and support to your children and into representing our city. So Mr. Murillo, please, on behalf of the City of El Centro and our council, I would present you with this certificate. Thank you. Is everybody fit? Are we? Joselito will make sure that we're where we need to be.
Crumples, velados.
And can they? Yeah.
Sideways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear Joselito's comments right now.
Are you good?
All
All right.
One last thing.
Yes, I do.
And one last thing before I leave.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We won't let you leave yet. We would like to address, council would like to address the
Well,
players.
one last thing before I leave. Without Adriana, Nava, Javier, and everybody at Parks and Rec, this team wouldn't be where it's at either. And I want to give them a thank you because the moment we met in 2017 has been butting heads to the point that we work beautifully together. So thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great to see you. All right, fellow colleagues, at this time, I'll go ahead and open up the opportunity to address this amazing team before us. Ms. Carter?
I just want to say I'm honored. I see some familiar faces and I'm very proud of you. I am so proud of you. I can just go on and on and on, but I guarantee you one thing, you will be in my thoughts and my prayers, and I will just wait to hear the outcome. But I wish you the best. Don't stop. Don't stop. Good luck.
To the players and to the coaches, there are no words to express just how proud we are, because you don't get to see this every day,
No.
right? We don't get to be able to say that our team from our city, our small city, can match, if not beat, right, all those other big cities with better resources and better weather. But sure enough, you have a leg up when they come and play you here, right? So I will ask a question to the players. How many of you, when you're wearing your jersey, are very proud of the number that you have on your back? How many of you, that number means something to you? All right, well, that's good, right? I'm really proud of that. I'm hoping and happy that you find some sort of meaning for that number on your back, but I want you to listen to me very carefully. And that is, when you stood here, I got to see the back of you, and I got to see a lot of names that I recognize. I may know your bigger siblings, your parents, your grandparents, right? And I know that they are very proud of you. And I hope that the name on your back also means something. And that's really going to be up to you as you continue to grow up. The name of the city in front of you, I hope that means something to you too. And that responsibility is up to all of us up here and to the adults there to make sure that we continue to behave in a way and provide a space for you so that you can be proud of that, right? And so then there's also California behind you. And know that all of those things that represent on your jersey, right, means something to you. It means something to all of us here. So I really hope that you understand that we all here are very proud of the work, the practice, the sweat, right, the tears, the energy that you have put in. And it's not just so much the accomplishment on the field, but it's the accomplishment of you all as young men and young players, to your parents and to your loved ones that are here. So congratulations. And as my colleagues say, keep going and keep achieving.
Right, wonderful.
I want to say congratulations, gentlemen, to all the players and coaches that have worked so diligently to accomplish something that has not been accomplished in some time. You guys are Section 7 champions. You went to San Diego and took care of business against some of the best teams in the area, and there's still a lot of work to be done. I know you guys are anxious and excited, but you've put in the hours. You've dealt with our weather. You've practiced here. That gives you an advantage. It makes you stronger. And I look forward to seeing how you guys do tomorrow. And hopefully that's just another step in this amazing journey of your year. I also want to congratulate all the parents and the family for all of the hard work and time that they have put in to these amazing student athletes, because they have to get you to practice. They have to get you to your games. They have to make sure all your gear is taken care of. And I have boys your age, so they have to make sure your clothes are washed. They have to make sure your jerseys don't stink, that your baseball pants don't stand up by themselves. I know how it is. So to all the parents out there who have done all the legwork to support these young men, thank you very much. We're very, very proud of them and you for committing to this sport, and also for representing this great city and going out there. And I know we're going to hear a lot El Centro. Where's that? Well, you show them where we're from.
All
And
right.
you show them what we're about. And you guys have great luck tomorrow in Norco.
Thank you.
So
I would just like to say congratulations to not only the players, but the coaches as well, because they put in a lot of hard time and dedication to ensure that all of the players are coached to the point that now you have become excellent at your sport. And so we wish you much luck and God bless you as you travel to your games this week, and make us even prouder, okay, by bringing back the winning trophy.
Yay.
No pressure.
And just quickly, as we wrap up, I'd just like to take this opportunity. I have had the opportunity to watch you guys play many of your games, likewise with Council Member Edgar Garcia. And no matter what event or activity I had, sometimes you would see me in heels and dressed up as I came from an event or in a meeting that you were important. And I wanted to make sure that I had that opportunity to watch you play and cheer you on. And likewise, we continue to cheer you on. I'm an educator and I really appreciate your sportsmanship and that you have kept up your academics, because both are just as important. So congratulations. You've already made us proud. So moving on to the next step. All right, good luck to you. Safe travels. At this time, I would like to invite all the parents that are part of this team. If you could please come up, and we'd like to recognize you as well and take a picture with you. So all the parents, I invite you to come up, because when we talk about a team, it takes everyone. All right, so please, if you can come up and line up here, I would appreciate it.
Don't be shy now.
I think we're gonna need a wider lens, Joselito.
Panoramic picture.
All right, are all parents up front? Everyone? All parents? Yes? Are we missing a parent? Come on, Ivan. We have one more parent. Anyone else? Any other parents? Support system for our students and players. One more? Either, do we have anybody else? No? Yes, please.
All right.
All right.
Joselito's making a movie. All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I'll go ahead and move us on to item number 2 for presentations. Recognition of the City of El Centro board members for Building Board of Appeals, Imperial Valley Housing Authority, and our Personnel Appeals Board. I will tell you that it's with great honor that we appreciate strong community leaders that take on the responsibility to volunteer, to be part of the formation, to be part of the blueprint and the growth for the City of El Centro. There is no greater feat. We'll wait for the applause. I love it. I love it. This is a history-making moment for the City of El Centro. So. Yeah.
I knew it.
All right.
I knew it.
I recognize that voice.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I will continue with item number 2, which is recognition. When we talk about a volunteer, we talk about someone who truly cares about the community in which they live in. And I will tell you that the city of El Centro has amazing volunteers who serve in the capacity of commissioners and directors here for the city of El Centro. Many of the heavy lifting that takes place before it comes to city council has really taken place at the planning commission, at the appeals boards, at our building board of appeals, our Imperial Valley Housing Authority. That is where much of the work takes place, and then it comes before us to make the ultimate decision. So for that, I thank you for the countless hours that have been dedicated to the city of El Centro, for your skill set, your expertise, and your compassion and gratitude to ensuring that the quality of life for the city of El Centro residents is truly a better place to live. So with that, on behalf of our El Centro City Council, I would like to recognize Mr. Michael Minix on our Personnel Appeals Board. Mr. Minix. Thank you, Mr. Minix. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Minix. Never let you down. Thank you. Mr. Minix is also an elementary school district board trustee and serves on many other committees. And so we thank you, Mr. Minix, for your dedication and your service to the city of El Centro. I'd like to recognize Ms. Elizabeth Cardenas, who serves on the Personnel Appeals Board. Ms. Elizabeth Cardenas. Thank you. Ms. Cardenas is a school board trustee for Meadows School District and serves on many other community boards, and we thank you for your service to the city of El Centro. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Angie Peña, Personnel Appeals Board. So Angie, someone's gonna have to take your picture. Is a school board trustee for our elementary school district and serves on many other boards as well. And we thank you for your service to the city of El Centro. It's this one with great honor and respect that we have Ms. Sedelia Sanders, who serves on our Personnel Appeals Board. However, due to health reasons, she is unable to be with us in chambers, but she does sends her gratitude, and likewise, we appreciate her many years, former mayor and city council member for decades. So with that, I think Ms. Sedelia Sanders. I'm not sure if Ms. Sierra Jaime, who also serves on our Personnel Appeals Board, I don't know if she's in the room, but I'd like to recognize her for her commitment to the city of El Centro and for her volunteerism and on serving on this board. So thank you very much. To a very dear friend and a mentor to me, I'd like to recognize Miss Mary N. Camacho, Imperial Valley Housing Authority.
There's a picture. Hang on.
Joselito, where's Joselito? Angie's gonna take your job. All right. Ms. Camacho is a retired superintendent of schools here for the IVROP program and has brought in millions of dollars to our area and making sure that there was workforce development and also for the opportunity for career and technical education. We thank you for your service and for everything that you do for our city of El Centro. Mr. Michael Minix is a busy gentleman. Mr. Michael Minix, Imperial Valley Housing Authority. Uh-oh. Great. Wonderful. I'd like to invite Mr. Oscar Escalante, Board Member, Building Board of Appeals. I don't know if he's in the room, but we would like to congratulate him for his service. Dear friend to the city of El Centro, and just a great advocate to making sure that we have better quality of life, I'd like to recognize Mr. Andy Alvarez, Board Member, Building Board of Appeals. Thank you. Ms. Mayra Soto, Board Member, Building Board of Appeals. I don't know if she's in the room, but we thank her for her service. All right. I want to make sure I say this correctly. Param Maroki, Board Member, Building Board of Appeals. And I don't know if this person is there. There you are. Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Mr. Darian Dax Shell, Board Member, Building Board of Appeals. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Wonderful. Colleagues, I'll go ahead and hand it over to council if you'd like to share any thoughts or feedback.
I just want to say thank you for the tireless volunteering and all the effort that you put in, and just keep on doing what you're doing, because people do see, they do recognize, and they do appreciate you as well as we do. So thank you.
Wonderful. Council member?
Yes, to all the people being recognized, to all the folks that are not here, but were also recognized, I certainly just want to say thank you for giving of your time, right? It is the most precious commodity that we have, and it's the one thing that we won't get back. And so you have chosen to give that of your commodity to the residents of El Centro, right? And your energy, it's a thankless job sometimes, right? And so whether it's for housing purposes, whether it's for on the appeals, for personnel issues, right? For people wanting to seek justice of what they may feel is unfair and whatnot. There's so many ongoing issues in the city. And so we get to be here and enjoy some level of limelight. And you know, as much as we might think that this is hard, you are really the unsung hero. So I want to say thank you to the mayor for taking this moment to recognize all the hard work that you put in and the time and energy. So thank you once again for everything. And to the just general public, pay attention to the fact that there are these positions at some point. And if you also want to give of your time, know that one day, you know, there could be vacancies along the way. And they're right now great mentors. Everyone that you saw that walks up here could really give you insight and can help you and guide you to learn something that you might not know about the city and what goes on. So take advantage. And again, thank you very much for everyone for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you. Councilmember Garcia?
Congratulations to everyone that was recognized. I know that several of you serve in other capacities. You have other jobs, you have other boards that you serve on. It's truly a labor of love to serve your community, and I congratulate you and I thank you. Being a resident of El Centro, I know how time-consuming a lot of these meetings can be. You know, it's wonderful that you have taken the step to stand forward and to serve this community in this capacity, and I thank you and hope that you continue doing so and wish you all the best. And this recognition is truly well-deserved.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem?
I would just like to say thank you for your volunteerism thank you for sharing your experience, your expertise, and your knowledge when it comes to service on our different boards that we have here at the city. And not only that, but also all of the other work that you do outside of the scope of the city as well. Because I know many of you don't sit on just one board, you sit on several. And, just like my colleague stated, it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And that is one, I guess, commodity that is really hard to find people who are willing to dedicate that time. So again, I thank you for all you do for us.
Wonderful. All right. And with that, just for closing, thank you so much. I really appreciate the hard work that goes in to serving on a board and the responsibility and the fiduciary responsibility for many of you that may have that responsibility, and also for the quality of life. Whether you serve on a board that seeks justice in regards to personnel issues, we thank you. We truly serve our community with our heart and with our time. So I thank you for your time, talent, and efforts. So on behalf of the City of El Centro, thank you so much. All right. Excellent. I'll go ahead and move us on to item number 3, which is the proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. All right. Parks and Recreation Month, July 2023. Parks and Recreation promotes physical, emotional, and mental health and wellness through organized and self-directed fitness, play, and activity. And the Park and Recreation supports the economic vitality of communities by partnering with local businesses and nonprofits and offering events for residents' engagement, as well as endless learning opportunities that foster social, physical, and emotional growth in people of all ages and all abilities. Parks and Recreation creates memorable experiences through youth sports and enrichment activities, teen centers and programs, senior activity centers, adult fitness, enrichment programs, and free community events. Parks and Recreation fosters social cohesiveness in communities by celebrating diversity, providing spaces to come together peacefully, modeling compassion, promoting social equity, connecting social networks, and ensuring all people have access to these benefits. As the mayor of the City of El Centro and council members, we recognize the importance of access to local parks, recreations, and facilities for the health, wellness, and safety for our communities. Therefore, I, Martha Cardenas Singh, Mayor of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim July 2023 as Park and Recreations Month in the City of El Centro. All
She's like, no. Where's Pat? There you go.
Pat, there you are.
So we're gonna take a picture now?
Yes.
Okay, picture.
Are we gonna?
Take a picture.
Oh, sorry.
I saw him.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Are we centered?
And now.
Hold on.
Are we good?
Thank you.
Oh, paparazzi. Thank you. All right, I just want to share, Mr. Council Member Tomas Oliva is asking for a drone. He just wants to up the level.
I expect at some point somebody's gonna submit a budget request for a drone and it's gonna be flying in here, taking all these pictures, right?
Ay, Tomas. All right, council members, this will be our opportunity to address the amazing work that happens with our Parks and Recs Department. Miss Councilmember Sonia Carter?
For years, I have seen the effort, the work, all the commitment, the people just working tirelessly and doing what they can do, especially for the children. And then they come to school and they talk about it. They appreciate what you do. So keep doing what you're doing and do not stop. It's an effort. I know it's long-winded. I know, but it is recognized and it is appreciated. And we appreciate every single last one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Salinas?
So my first part of my comment is going to be generally to the public, and that is to say that I obviously once upon a time sat out there and I enjoyed a lot of these events, being general public, and I appreciated them so much, and I really hope that you do as well. But now being on this side, you get a behind the curtain look at what it takes to put on all of these community events and these programs that we all get to enjoy. Everyone that you saw here, plus others, are part of that. And they're part of making sure that you have those events to hang out with your family, with your neighbors, create those memories, right, that we all find important. And so really take a moment to be appreciative of everything that they do and so much more, because on all of these events, whether it's 4th of July, whether it's Christmas, whether it's they are working while we get to enjoy, right? So just appreciate them and digest that fact, right? To the staff, I just want to say that, again, having been in this space, appreciating the fact that coming out of COVID, right, the conversations that we had of how important more than ever now it was to provide these programs and these spaces and these events for families, because they were all dying to kind of come back and really want to see their neighbors again, their families. And so you all provided that space for them to readjust back to normalcy, right? And so whether it's the parades that take place, whether it's the programs in the summer that a lot of families depend on so that their children have something healthy and productive to dedicate their time and energy to, all of that. Thank you. And thank you again to the council for deciding to recognize all of your work.
Thank you. Councilmember Garcia?
Well, I think first and foremost, I have to say that the residents of El Centro are extremely lucky to have the best Parks and Recreation department in the county. Whether it's the dedicated and diligent staff, the facilities, the programs, the events, the list just goes on and on. I've been particularly lucky to be able to enjoy a lot of the events that have been put on, as well as the facilities for all the different types of athletics and just our parks in general. It's always nice. I live right by Buckland. It's great to see how well used it is. I mean, it's just wonderful. And we're constantly trying to find new ways under the leadership of Adriana to make them better. To how can we make this better for the residents? I mean, my middle son's sitting right there. He just got back from the Nothing But Net practice.
Oh.
It's a summer program that's very well attended and everyone loves it. There's a waiting list for it. It's great to see that kind of community involvement, and that falls on to the hard work and dedication of every single person in that department, whether they're checking people in, signing them in, checking in, or the facilities that are taking care of our parks. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see. It's a treasure in our city, and they go very well used. And this recognition is very, very well deserved. We see it year round, and I invite anybody from the community who hasn't come out to one of the events thrown by Parks and Rec to come out and see how much hard work they put into it, because it's always such a great time. And it's year round. There's always something going on. The city is always putting something on. And the brochure for the summer programs, I can't even begin to say how much I appreciate the fact that we can offer those services, that we have the staff that puts in such time and effort to craft those programs so our children have something to do in the summer when it's 110 degrees outside. It's wonderful that we have those opportunities here in the city, and it's a testament to how those programs function and how great they are, that we have people from other cities coming to sign up on lists to try to get into them for the summer, that they're driving around the county to come over to our facilities for our summer programs. And I can talk about them constantly because they're just the summer camps, the different basketball leagues for all the way from the little guys that are almost half the size of the ball to the big kids that are about to go into high school. It's just amazing to see. There's so much traffic. If you don't believe me, go to the Conrad Harrison Youth Center at 8 p.m. It is packed with people, parents and kids, and it's just a wonderful sight to see. And it's great that we have the dedicated staff to put that on. And I'll stop here, but I could keep going. Parks is my love. I love Parks and Recreation, and I am so proud of the department that we have here.
Mayor Pro Tem?
What can I say? I share the sentiments of my colleagues by saying that, I too have witnessed the crowds at the Conrad Youth Harrison Center. It's amazing, to see the turnout. And, for years, even before I sat in this seat, I attended all of the city events and truly enjoyed them and always look forward to them each year. And I just have to say that they have just gotten bigger and better. And I have to say that under the leadership of Adriana, Stacy, Pat, Javier, it's just like the sky's the limit with all of you, because you're constantly brainstorming and coming up with new ideas of things that you can offer the community. And I always look forward to seeing what you're going to come up with next, what's up your sleeve. So I just would like to say, thank you for all you do, because it is a lot of hard work. Any event, whether a small one or a big one, such as the ones that you produce, are a lot of work. And I know that if you didn't have the team, your Gus here, how can I forget Gus? As if you didn't have your team here, you just wouldn't succeed and make these events as enjoyable and memorable for all of our community. So thank you.
All right. I have to say, it's with great admiration when I take a look at the booklet that we're talking about, right? That is about a half an inch thick, that every page has an activity for individuals of all, right, ages and all abilities. I commend you for the great work that takes place. I think I take great pride in making sure that these services and activities we provide are equitable and truly at an affordable rate. And I know that when we have discussions and we've discussed activities and sports, we always take a look at the lens of ensuring that it is equitable and accessible to our community. And that always means that we have to take a look at grant funding and other opportunities to make sure that we keep it at a rate that is available to our community. Adriana, Pat, Javier, Gus, and all your teams. Oh, Rebecca, there you are, Miss Rebecca. Miss Rebecca, Stacy, all of you. I know that you do the job that you do because you're passionate about providing opportunities for our community, and I thank you for the great work that you do. I will share, my granddaughter does the summer camp, and then my mother does the senior activity. So when we talk about the quality of life at any age and any level, we make sure that there's an opportunity. And if there's something about the recreation center, it always feels like home, and everyone is accepted and welcomed. And at every skill ability, we know that it's going to be built upon that to provide them that sportsmanship activity and skill that we want to make sure that we develop in our youth. So with that, I congratulate you and celebrate you every day for the great work.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to say, our work would not have been possible without the support of the council. These last couple of years, I say we've been hitting it hard. And you know it because we've been chasing dollars. We've been chasing dollars on your end to give us some of that Measure P money, competing with other departments for it. And so I will say that I think that we have a really strong, passionate team. Pat has years of service, experience, creativity. Javier has years of capital projects and project management. Rebecca comes with all this fresh energy, attitude, new things that are being done on the social media pages. And I think every single person, and this is just an example, every single person has something unique that they provide. And I think that that's what makes El Centro as a whole unique, that we have a team of people that when I call, chief, he's there to answer and he's there to support us, whether it's fire or PD. And so I just want to thank all of our team too, who assist on making these things possible. We don't do it alone. We all lean on each other. And I think that that's really important to highlight, that that's what our exceptionalism is, that we work together. And thank you for creating and fostering that spirit. We appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And on that note, on behalf of the city recreation leaders from the MOK, Conrad Harrison Gym, and the El Centro Community Center, we want to thank you for your support from the Adult Center participants, the summer day camp participants at the Community Center and at the MOK, the Coyotes program, the Yells program, the special exceptional program at the Conrad Harrison, the big giant NBN program with 330 participants, with all the itty bitty programs. And I know I'm missing some great programs everywhere that we have. We want to thank you for the support that you have provided to our department. And again, we do have that dream team that I've always wanted to have, and we've had it for quite a few years now with Adriana's leadership and the staff that we have. So congratulations to the rec staff that keeps up the programs going and make it fun for the kids. Thank you.
Right, excellent.
I just want to thank the council and the city for funding all our capital improvement projects for the parks. There's a lot of them ongoing right now, and we have quite a few in the works, and some will be completed. So again, thank you all for your funding and for your support.
Great. Javier, I drove by the IVGSL and I saw that we're putting in the new field lighting, so congratulations. Yes, and we'll be. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for your great work. All right, moving us on to item number 4, which is our proclamation for International Lifeguard Day, July 31st. The City of El Centro Proclamation, International Lifeguard Day, July 31st, 2023. Lifeguards are responsible for protecting the lives of more than 500 visitors who visit the El Centro Aquatic Center on a daily basis. Lifeguards diligently dedicate not only their time, but lives to enabling a safe environment for swimmers. They instruct and keep a constant watch on guests to prevent injury and rescue them from life-threatening accidents while they enjoy a swim. Lifeguards are the primary responders for all water and deck-related emergencies and are trained to provide first aid, access and navigate traumatic injuries, communicate with fellow lifeguard staff and patrons, and will be calm and assertive leaders in emergency situations. Lifeguards have a massive responsibility and put their own lives, health, and safety at risk. Lifeguards also extend their compassion and care, helping families fit life jackets, answering questions, and maintaining rigorous sanitation protocols. The mayor and the council members honor and appreciate lifeguard professionals that provide a safe, healthy, and fun space for the community to enjoy the El Centro Aquatic Center. Now, therefore, I, Martha Cardenas Singh, Mayor of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim July 31st, 2023 as International Lifeguard Day in the City of El Centro. Miss Rebecca. We can invite your staff to come up, please. Yes. The rest are busy out working at the aquatic center. So. Maybe if we can have one on this side of you, Miss Rebecca, one and one.
Well, like one of you guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Just to balance it out.
I didn't know you were here. Seen you.
Currently one, two, three.
All right, let's go.
Down.
Tilt it down. There you go.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Okay, you can smile.
Are you good, Emilio?
Are you good?
Sorry, I wait. And then hold on.
Fancy.
For the TikTok.
Thank you.
All right.
Right.
Incorporate those into your video.
All right, Miss Rebecca. Wonderful. I'll go ahead and bring it back to our colleagues if we'd like to address the wonderful work that happens with, at the Aquatic Center with our lifeguards.
Yes, it is an honor. I had the honor of seeing one of the lifeguards and I asked him, I says, what is your biggest thing? Why do you want to be a lifeguard? And the answer he told me really impressed me. He says, that's because we're the leaders of the future. If we can save lives, we're joining the other committees that save lives as well. And he was only 17. So I said, okay, I commend you. So I just want to say, keep on doing what you're doing because you're inspiration to the folks that are looking up to you and they watching what you're doing and they appreciate your leadership. And so do we and all of your staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
So to your staff, Rebecca, and to you as well, you know, we couldn't have an aquatic center without lifeguards, right? That's just the basic. And so you make it happen. You all make it happen and allow for parents to be able to drop off their kids and have that peace of mind that they are going to be looked after and they're going to be safe. So I know that not too long ago, we had to discuss loaning you out to Calexico in order to train new lifeguards. And so it's not like you guys are a dime a dozen. It's not as though it's so easy to do the job. And so I know that there's some preparation and some classification that comes with it. And so thank you for dedicating that time and for keeping our children, our youth, and our families safe while they're enjoying the Aquatic Center.
Thank you. Councilmember Garcia?
Rebecca, thank you for everything that you do. And also, I'd like to commend your staff for their diligent work ethic and making sure that the Aquatic Center is a safe place for families to enjoy the recreational area. We have events there. They're always well attended. You guys are always working very hard to make sure that everybody's taken care of and that all the kids are having a great time in a safe, responsible way. And it's wonderful to see. I've attended many of them. I'll be there tomorrow. We're having another one tomorrow. So it's just really great to see. And I'm really glad that you're getting this recognition for all of the hard work that you've done and all of your staff. I mean, they definitely take their jobs seriously. They're very attentive. They're always watching the kids in the splash pad and when they get in the pools. It's just a wonderful thing to observe and see how they're really taking this role seriously because of the repercussions, and it's because of their training. It's because of their great training, and that's why Calexico wants us to send some of you guys over there to do some training for their people. And that's just a that's just a reflection on the quality of your work. So congratulations again, and it's very well deserved.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Rebecca, what can I say? I feel like Councilmember Garcia, shared with us that, he's attended many of the events at the Aquatic Center.
Mhm.
And I just have to say that thank you for sharing your love, your dedication, and your passion for swimming, for water, for ensuring that all of your staff is properly trained to ensure that they keep our community members safe. And so, I know that with you, you dedicate your life to that. It's the second that you, along with your family, also, have a lot of, you share your passion for it as well. Okay, so, and I thank you for everything you do.
Wonderful. Miss Rebecca, I will tell you, under your leadership, it is great to see the hundreds of individuals that come in and seek our services at our aquatic center. Building is only as good as the staff that provides the services there. So I thank you for your leadership and for empowering and ensuring that your staff is prepared and ready for any and every emergency. I've had the opportunity to attend many events, and they're always very well run, professional, and everyone feels safe. So I thank you for your leadership. Please, on our behalf, please thank the staff there at the Aquatic Center for taking their job serious and giving back to their community. I see many of them are young individuals that are 16, 17, and even 18 that take on that responsibility and who have the love and the passion to teach swimming to individuals of all ages. So that life skill is truly life-saving measure. So thank you for that, and we're so glad that we can celebrate National Lifeguards Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'm just a very small reflection of this aquatics team, and I am nothing if it wasn't for that aquatics team that I do have. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of the team that myself and my staff have put together this summer. As we were able to hire more guards to offer more programming and days for our public. The team that we have is young, yes, but very mature, and they know the responsibility that they have. And our aquatic center is only good because of those young adults that we have there at the aquatic center. So this proclamation is for them and for the lifeguards that we have, and for them to know that their busy summer doesn't go unseen, and their hard work that they put in is not unappreciated, but they are appreciated day in and day out. And they work at the busiest pool in the Imperial County.
Yes.
And we are just as good. They make it good. And I'm just very happy that the council and mayor proclaimed this event, and we invite you to come out Monday, July 31st at 12 o'clock. That we're having a little luncheon for them and that. So please feel free to come to the aquatic center on that day and see them.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
One more thing. So Rebecca worked really hard on this. So we have a little video just to showcase. Many of our lifeguards didn't make it. It's a really brief video of the faces that you see at the aquatic center. Many of them are working, as you mentioned. So we just wanted to share it. And Emilio worked really hard on this video too. So here you go.
All right. We have sound?
There's audio.
All right. Thank you so much.
So again, just a very small portion of what we have going on, in our guards, but without these young adults, that aquatic center wouldn't be nearly as what it is today, or nearly as productive and promising as it is. So
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Excellent. All right. All right. To my colleagues and to the audience, just as a reminder, I did move item number 14 that would follow before our consent agenda. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and address item number 14, appointment of the city manager. And on behalf of the mayor, I will read the statement. California law requires that before an executive officer's contract is approved, the presiding officer must announce that portion of his compensation that differs that from other executive employees. The city manager's salary is $240,000 per year. An existing vehicle is being provided for him at the city's expense. He has asked for an increased life insurance benefit. Upon termination of the contract, if requested, he will receive an additional 3 months of medical benefits on the same terms and conditions as during his employment. Otherwise, the monetary provisions of his contract provide the same benefits as for other executive employees or as provided by the city code. All right, Miss Bedoya, please.
Hello, Madam Mayor and council members. I have here before you a resolution appointing a new city manager and establishing the compensation and employment terms for the position of city manager for July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. There's no fiscal impact to the general fund as this position has been budgeted for. As you know, the new city manager is the current interim city manager. The hiring process included local and national recruitment with local and out-of-valley applicants. After a thorough review of the job applications, council interviewed the top candidate, Cedric Cesena. His appointment ends a 3-month hiring process. Remarkably, Cedric possesses an extensive 31 years of experience in local government, having worked in esteemed organizations such as the City of Calexico Fire Department, the Imperial County Fire Department, the Imperial County EMS Agency, and notably the City of El Centro Fire Department. He brings invaluable expertise in emergency management, encompassing finance, logistics, operation, and planning. Cedric joined the City of El Centro in December 2013 and has been an integral part of the City of El Centro for several years, contributing his expertise and dedication to various roles. He served as Fire Battalion Chief Public Information Officer for 9 years, followed by a 15-month tenure as Interim Fire Chief. Since November 2022, Cedric has held the position of interim city manager, accumulating 8 months of valuable experience in this capacity. Since his appointment as interim city manager and in collaboration with city staff, bond counsel, financial consultants, and underwriters finalized the issuance of $40.8 million of bonds for the construction of the new El Centro Police Department headquarters. Mr. Cesena also continues to guide the city through a difficult financial situation at ECRMC. He has also been overseeing the city's day-to-day operations, including overseeing and maintaining the budget, ensuring the effective implementation of all city utilities and services for residents, and more. Mr. Cesena holds a bachelor's degree in public administration, complemented by countless of specialized training and education hours. Conclude. Adopt the resolution of the City Council of the City of El Centro establishing the compensation and employment terms for the position of City Manager for July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Bedoya. Council members at this time, is there any questions that we have for Ms. Bedoya? If not at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to, okay, great. Motion has been made by Sylvia Marroquin, Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Council Member Tomas Oliva. Please vote. Congratulations, the item passes.
Thank you.
'The floor is yours, Mr. Cesena.
this just got real. So I'm humbled. I prepared a speech because I figured I'd ramble otherwise, and that rhymed. But I'll share with you that as I look at the audience here tonight, I see some, a lot of my loved ones actually. So, and I include everybody, city staff and, family, my compadres. And I do see, three people that actually, whether you know it or not, they've been part of my formation as a public servant. One of them being Chief Madueño retired from El Centro Police Department. Also, Fire Chief Herbert from the El Centro Fire Department, as well as Chief Lancer, retired from Marietta Fire. So thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. So ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the council, and esteemed colleagues and community members, I am before you humbled and honored as I accept the appointment to the position of city manager for the city of El Centro. It is with great pride and enthusiasm that I embrace this opportunity to serve and lead our remarkable community. And I would be remiss if I don't thank God first for walking alongside me in this journey of life. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our council for placing their trust in me. I am truly honored by your confidence and belief in my ability to fulfill the responsibilities of this position. I pledge to you my unwavering commitment, my dedication, and integrity as we move forward and work together to achieve the collective vision of the city. To my colleagues and incredible fire department staff, which got a call for a fire, coincidentally, just before this, structure fire nonetheless. I have worked with you and I owe you guys a debt of gratitude. I hope you guys understand that. Your unwavering support, professionalism, and commitment to serving the community have been a constant source of inspiration. I truly believe that not only the fire department, but a lot of our services are the best services in Imperial County. At the fire department, we face countless challenges together, and I'm proud of what we have accomplished. The lessons I have learned from working alongside you will serve as a guiding light in my new position. Also, there's many of friends here. And it is unfortunate that some of you, when I look at your face and I see you, it reminds me and takes me back to specific places in our community. Interstate 8 and Incopa, right? Or, other incidents, 115 in Harris. But we work those incidents together. So, I take those memories with me as I move along this journey. To the talented, hardworking employees of the city of El Centro, I really mean that. I am privileged to have this opportunity to work with you guys and collaborate. Your commitment to public service, it was mentioned earlier by our council and highlighted. Your tireless efforts to serve our community is truly inspiring. I seldom, see you give up, but most of the times I come up to you, sometimes I break into your meeting and I say, hey, there's something we would like to do. And I never hear no, I always hear there's a way we can do it. Together, we will continue to build on the foundation laid by our predecessors and create a brighter future for El Centro residents. To the residents of El Centro, and I think many of you guys are, thank you for the trust and support. Your passion, resilience, and unwavering spirit as a city is exceptional. We made it through a pandemic together. I promise to be accessible, to listen to your concerns, and to work diligently to address the issues that affect your daily lives. Your voices will guide our decision, and your aspirations will shape our future. I must also acknowledge the tremendous support of my family. All of you guys have a very special place. Debbie, Ali, Bella, and Abby. Okay, so there's three of them. Oh, there's Bella. And I always get the names backwards. You guys have, been a constant source of solid encouragement, understanding, and sacrifice. Even when I came up with the idea, well, I didn't come up with the idea, actually, then Mayor Oliva came up with the idea to ask me to be the interim. And I asked you guys what you thought, and you guys were all for it. So you're instrumental in the professional growth. Your belief in me has given me the strength and determination to reach new heights. I'm truly blessed to have you along for this thing called life. Madre, Hoy quiero expresarle mi más sincero agradecimiento por todo su amor, apoyo y su dedicación como madre. Su incondicionalidad y su sacrificio ha sido un faro en mi vida, guiándome en cada paso que he dado. No hace mucho me enseñó una carta que usted escribió hace un tiempo. And in that letter, my mother shared how difficult it was to bring up a kid like me because I was just all over the place. At a very young age, I had a radio flyer and I tore it into pieces and threw it over the fence. And my mom couldn't find it, so she went and found the pieces. So she shared with me this letter that she wrote as part of one of her ESL classes. You know, it was eye-opening to me to realize how much of a handful I was. A mi padre me enseñó el valor de el trabajo duro, la importancia de la honestidad y generosidad hacia los demás. Sus enseñanzas han moldeado la persona que soy hoy. La quiero mucho, madre, y también a mi padre. As city manager, I recognize the challenges and complexities that lie ahead. However, I believe that we can pretty much face any challenge and make it into an opportunity and grow and innovate. We will confront these challenges head on, drawing upon the wealth of knowledge, experience, and talent within the city. All of you guys will make this happen. And by fostering collaboration, transparency, and open dialogue, we will navigate through these toughest times and emerge stronger as a community. I'm almost done. I bring with me a deep-rooted commitment to public service. It's been 31 years since I got started in local government. And together we will prioritize the well-being of our residents. We will embrace sustainable development, economic growth, and commitment to preserving what makes El Centro a community that continues to shine with opportunity. I want to recognize the city manager's office, community services, human resources, finance, the library, city clerk's office. I wrote some notes and I already forgot. Public Works, community development, police and fire, for all their hard work. Truly, you guys are the ones that have poised me to be sitting where I'm sitting today. All of that the praise goes to you guys. Now, growing up, I remember playing sidekick to my older brother, so I grew up wanting to just be like that, be a superhero sidekick. So Betsy, you're the superhero. So I thank you for guiding me along the way. You certainly make legal matters more palatable, and I can face those without fear. So in the story, you're the superhero, and I'm still the sidekick. So in conclusion, I'm deeply honored to be your city manager, and I know that we will do great things together. Thank you.
Right, Ms. Councilmember Sonia Carter.
Takes a lot to get me speechless. And I'm speechless. I'm honored to actually sit beside you, and I'm learning from you as well. And I really wish you the best on this journey. And I have so much faith in you. I know that you'll do a wonderful job. And I thank you to his family for lending him to us, because he's now our family as well. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Oliva?
Oh, Cedric.
Where do I start?
I know. We have known each other for many years, and I could say that, well, I will say to everyone what I said to you behind closed doors. How about that? And that is that the positive feeling that I have is that you allowed me to see a different, to have a different expectation of what the city manager's office is, and that you allowed me to kind of recalibrate what that means for a council member, right? You have been so responsive. You're very organized. You follow through very quickly. with some of the requests, right, whether they're personal or administrative, that the council gives. And that is something that I value. And so I know that you're going to do a great job, right? And if that wasn't enough, I'm going to go ahead and share with everyone a little something between us. And that is that, so at some point, as he mentioned, when I was had the pleasure of serving as the mayor, we had an understanding of something, right? The details are not really important, but we had an understanding about something. And over time, those circumstances changed. But before Cedric acted, right, just to give you a sense of the character of the person, I expected anyone else or anyone in general to just kind of act based on circumstances changing and not really give me any explanation, right? You don't owe me anything. But he didn't, meaning before he acted on the circumstances having changed, he asked to sit with me and he said, that conversation that we had, that gentleman's agreement that we had, I want you to know circumstances have changed. And so I want to act upon them. And before I do, I need your blessing. That you don't see that anymore, right? It's really the character of someone to show you that their word means something and that their character means something and that their integrity and the way that they view you matters to them. And so I share that with you all so that you understand the person, the character of the man that we are happily to appoint as city manager. And so I say that, Cedric, and I hope that as time goes on, right, that you don't forget any of that and that you stay true to that. And I know you will. That goes for all of us, right? Over time, we can kind of forget this and that, but that is very important. I'm very happy to work alongside you in this space, and good luck.
Thank you.
Cedric, I've known you for a good amount of years now. I've seen you in different capacities with the city. I've always respected your diligence and your commitment to the city. And, seeing how your career has progressed and the different types of roles that you have taken on in service to the city, there is a common theme throughout your career. And that theme is that whenever there is responsibility that needs to be taken and handled by someone, you are always open to taking on that increased responsibility. And you're always willing to work harder to accomplish the goal for the betterment of the city, whatever capacity that you have served. So seeing you being the new city manager and having had the reins for some time now as interim, it's just a testament to your work ethic, to your integrity, and to the fact that when something needs to be done, you're always willing to walk through that door because you are prepared and you get the job done. And that's exactly what we need in a city manager moving this city forward into the future. I look forward to working with you for many years to come and to seeing how this city just gets better under this leadership, under your leadership, under your hard work, because that's what you always bring to the table. That has been something very consistent throughout your career, and you have earned all this praise, and you have earned being here at this position, and you have done an amazing job. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Cedric, I just want to say, first of all, congratulations. And, as I told you that day, your performance on the job as the interim city manager has impressed me to no end. as my other colleagues stated, your responsiveness, your dedication, your willingness to accept any challenge that is put before you is just, speaks volumes. I also mentioned to you that your past experience as a first responder and in emergency situations will be invaluable to this position. I just cannot wait to see, where you take us. And hopefully that we provide you with all of the guidance and the tools necessary to reach new levels in this city. Because, we want to, just like the baseball team earlier, we want them to make us very proud. Well, I think that you've already made us proud, but we want you to make us even prouder. So, Cedric, head on. Good luck.
Yay. Well, I'll share a quick little personal experience that I had with Cedric. It was 2020, the middle of the pandemic, and I had the opportunity to volunteer with a nonprofit organization that would be providing meals for individuals with COVID, and we would be providing meals on a daily basis because of the quarantine and not being able to leave their home. And I remember Cedric came into the nonprofit organization and gave us training on safety, right? We were all wearing double masks, and he was showing us all the protocols and the procedures that needed to take place to keep ourselves safe, and knowing that we wanted to provide meals for individuals that had COVID. And that was just amazing to see your heart that cared about your community, that was there giving us the training and the support for us to be able to volunteer and provide those services. So when you speak about a man's heart and his actions, Cedric, you speak volumes when it comes to the work that you do in our community. As far as our new city manager, Cedric, I think the takeaway I have is that you bring this calm. I know that we deal with the day-to-day operations and many times having to make very difficult decisions. And when we have to make those difficult decisions, that we look at all angles, we look at all aspects and how it impacts individuals, employees, the community, and as a whole. That when we view and review these actions that take place, it's always with the lens of equity. And for that, I thank you. The other aspect, I think that when we talk about the efficiencies in the city of El Centro, we talk about making sure that we are setting up our employees for success and that there is efficient and effective measures put in place that allows employees to shine and to provide those opportunities. I also think about the constituents that we get emails on concerns or recommendations and suggestions, and they're always greeted with a smile, they're greeted with respect, and they're greeting with a listening ear to the issues that are before them and that they would like to discuss with them. And so I thank you for being compassionate and understanding to those needs from our constituents. And as we move forward, Cedric, there is great work before us. And I thank you for being part of the history that takes place here in the city of El Centro. I admire your innovation as you take a look at the lens of access points, for our public, as we take a look at efficiencies and technologies and pay points and everything that comes into place as we move forward in technology also in our departments. So with that, Cedric, I thank you, and I thank you for choosing to lead in the city of El Centro. So thank you. At this time, I think this is a great day for the city of El Centro. So what I would like to do is I would like to take a 15-minute recess to allow us to congratulate and celebrate Cedric. We do have some refreshments here as well. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for a 15-minute break at 7:30. We will come back and reconvene at 7:45.
Congratulations.
What you wish for. Reconvening back from our break. Again, this is the July 18th, 2023 El Centro City Council meeting. As we move forward with our agenda, we are looking at the consent agenda. All right, do I have a motion, or is there any council member that would like an item pulled from the consent agenda? If not, I will entertain a motion. At this time, Council Member Edgar Garcia, seconded by Council Member Sonia Carter. Please vote. Thank you. Item passes 5-0. All right, moving on to item number 13. For public hearing. This is the time and the place for the continued public hearing for the purpose of considering an ordinance regarding temporary non-commercial signage, murals, and display window signs. All right, Mr. Angel Hernandez.
Hello, good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of City Council. I'm glad I'm not presenting right before people get their cake, so thank you about that. So the item before you is an amendment to the sign ordinance, Chapter 22.1 of our city code, and most of the amendments are related to temporary non-commercial signage, and that's the signage category that election signs fall under. So some background just about that specific aspect of it. In 2020, the City Council adopted Ordinance 20-04, and that made changes to the sign regulations so that they are more content neutral. And the major change that it did was it consolidated a lot of these different types of signage into a category called non-commercial temporary signage. One of those signage, as you can see in the photo we have there, is election signs. The following year, there was a change to that regulation that extended the time that these signs could be posted up. So before, it would be 60 days before election day or the day of the event, and that was the time period that was in place before the 2020 ordinance as well, and it was extended to 120 days. 120 days. So that was made to align with the county imperial election sign regulations, since there was discussion about that at that time. The chart before you is what we're proposing on this change. So the Community Development Department worked with the city attorney to go over some of these changes. The changes that are in bold and underlined are reflect changes from the previous. So how early a sign may be installed. Before it was 120 days, now it's gonna be 90 days. 90 days because it takes into account the mail-in voting, how there's the campaign season may have been extended than originally considered. When signs must be removed, that has not changed. It's still 15 days after the date of the event or the day of election. The maximum size remains 32 square feet, no change as well. And the maximum number of signage. So before, it would be 2 per property. At the last election, there was some concerns regarding the public and some of the candidates about, this is could be considered demeaning like someone's free speech. The example is you can have 1 property, but because you can only have 2 signs, well, I can only like advocate for 2 candidates or 2 measures. At that time, a letter was sent out to the candidates and distributed to the public saying, for this election period, that restriction would not be enforced. During that time, we didn't really see any major issues. There's still we're still be regulating regarding the placement signage. So obviously you couldn't put a sign that would be blocking someone's vision when they're driving or walking. We call it the vision triangle. Cannot put it right on the corner, since that is a danger. Aside from that, the restriction would be there'll be no restriction as long as the view of the property and from the property is not obstructed. And we're also taking the opportunity, since we're amending the sign ordinance, is to look at some other aspects of the sign ordinance that do deserve some cleanup. One is display window signs. So the chart, the table that's in the bottom, that allows you, that summarizes what zones are permitted. That's outlined in red. So you can see it's allowed in all zones, but there are certain home occupations that people could have at their house. But one of the requirements was that you cannot have any signage, you cannot be advertising at your house, even though you have the ability to have the home occupation. The aesthetics of the neighborhood are also concerned. So we found there was a slight contradiction about this specific section and some other sections in our zoning code. So that's being adjusted just to be, it's permitted in all non-residential zones. And another aspect that we're looking at is murals. There's been a lot of conversations about murals. Some more murals are popping up. And one thing that right now, technically our mural regulations in the sign code restrict murals just to be of a historical subject matter. So there's some examples on the screen of murals in El Centro, and it's hard to just say this that's a historical subject matter. There's other aspects of murals that we would like to promote, and also just provide artists more freedom to propose anything to the city. And just something that for future discussion that we were staff was considering is right now any kind of murals we need to go through the administrative committee. That's remaining as is, but when we brought this item before the planning commission, we did kind of present the idea of maybe not requiring any kind of type of committee. They still would like a committee, but they did kind of voice the concerns about maybe the administrative committee is not the right body. Just to remind everyone, the administrative committee is made up of several department heads of the city. So the idea is, well, maybe they don't have the artistic expertise or to be reviewing these matters. So that's something that might be brought up before the city council at another meeting. With that, staff recommends that the city council open the public hearing, and after allowing input from the public, that they move forward by approving the project before you. It's the ordinance that's included in your staff report packet. I'm available for any questions or any comments. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this moment, the public hearing is opened. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Madam City Attorney, do we have any blue speaker slips or anyone that is on remote?
Switch jobs.
All right. At this time, going once, twice. All right. This public hearing is hereby closed. I'll bring this back to council if you have any questions or discussions by any of the members of our council. None? Is that a no, Mr. Oliva? No? All right. May I get a motion and a second for the approval of the ordinance in place?
A voting thing is not up yet.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Councilmember Tomas Oliva, seconded by Councilmember Sonia Carter. Please vote. Thank you. Item passes 5-0 for the approval of an ordinance of the City of El Centro of California amending Chapter 22.1 of the Code of City of El Centro regarding temporary non-commercial signage, murals, and display window signs. Waive the reading and approve as a first reading and authorize the city clerk to place on the next agenda for a second reading and adoption. Thank you so much, colleagues. For that, we'll move on to item number 15, library material selection. Ms. Carla Mason, Library Director.
Hi, this policy is twofold. One, it's to establish criteria for how we purchase books, weed them. Oh, okay. Thank you. And we do get questions about that a lot, so we need a policy for that. And the second is to establish a procedure when people have a concern about library materials. And basically, it includes a form that people need to fill out if they come to any of the library staff and they say, hey, I have a problem with this book, and they want to talk about it. They fill out this form that's a comment or challenge form, and it asks them how did they come about this, what brought up the issue, Do they have an alternative resource that they think would be better? And they fill out this form and then it comes to me. And that is, I think, the best way to handle it. It's the way the other libraries that I've worked at have handled it, that kind of the buck stops with the library director. It shouldn't be just the library assistants out there, and it shouldn't be people, in my opinion, coming to council about it. It should be first at the library. First, you go through this procedure, and then the library director deals with it. So that was why I created this.
Wonderful. We appreciate that, Ms. Carla. Fellow council members, questions on this policy that has been created? Great. I think it streamlines and it provides an opportunity in which all individuals have a policy and a procedure in place should they have any concerns. So I appreciate the effort in making sure that we have that in place. All right. So I have a motion that's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ms. Sylvia, seconded by Councilmember Mr. Tomas Oliva. Please vote. Thank you. Item is adopted 5-0. Thank you.
Okay.
Item number 16, adoption of the City of El Centro mural art grant program guidelines and applications. Ms. Adriana Nava, Community Services Director.
Hello, Honorable Mayor and Council. In your packet, we provided some program guidelines for the mural art grant. We went back and forth as to the structure of how we were going to approach this. Council allocated $35,000 in Measure P funds to start a mural program. And our goal is to start a program so that we can then apply for grant funding through the state. As we moved forward with it, how we were going to allocate that to different recipients was a bit of a challenge. So we went through committee, also worked with our community development director because there were some changes to our sign code that were needed. And the overall vision of what we're seeing is that murals enrich the community's history. It's a way of storytelling without actually telling a story. It's through pictures. They also create a great environment in a more walkable environment. We've also been working historically over the last 5 to 10 years on placemaking. You know, what makes El Centro unique? And so murals was a way of telling that story. So as we move forward with it, the guidelines pretty much, just to sum it up, we have $35,000 and anybody who's requesting funds can request up to $5,000. So that means that some of the grants could be smaller, and that's why we said up to 10 grants, because depending on the request, then, you know, that number would fluctuate. And then also the mural has to be seen from the public right away. So you have to be able to see it from a sidewalk, from a street. It can't be inside a restaurant, let's say, because this is the people's money. So we wanted to make sure we safeguarded that. And if the mural is on private property, they would need to get permission from the private property owner as well. Overall, our goal was to decrease the barriers of, you know, having a mural in the community. And so this is one way of approaching it. We have a lot of excellent artists. Angel's presentation depicted 2 current murals that we have, and the level of artistry and the color, they just enliven those spaces. As we move forward, we also wanted to include, because this is a little bit of seed money, right, for an artist. So we wanted to give preference to artists who are also residents from El Centro, and then also that whoever is applying has to be a resident of Imperial County. So we don't want other artists to tell our story. We want to tell our own story. We also wanted it to be timely. So, you know, your mural project can drag out, you know, a year. We wanted to be done within 6 months. And then lastly was if it was done in private property owner property, you would need a letter granting you permission. And then also the property owner would need to say that they're going to maintain it for 5 years, because sometimes they do get vandalized. And then also all artwork needs to be unique. Sometimes we see they replicate additional cartoons or characters. And so we don't want to get into any type of legal situation. We want it just to be unique. So the process. So in going through the various committees, one of the recommendations, suggestions was made that we include a member of the artist community. And so we have SDSU and IVC that both provide excellent art programs. And so we are going to be getting in touch with some of those individuals who teach, and then also going to assemble a committee of city staff to review some of these applications. And then once they're pre-screened, those who gain 70 points or more will be advanced to the Library and Community Services Board. And this board previously assisted with the utility box selection, and it went pretty well. So we're thinking of replicating that. And then lastly, because this is something new that we're piloting, we wanted to meet with the artists and ask them, okay, you know, are these guidelines okay? Do you have any questions? And so we've already started doing that a little bit individually, but we want to have one formal workshop where we inform them what we're doing, what we would like to gain from it, and then also just look for new opportunities to collaborate when we're working on grants, et cetera. So we think that's a good way of going about that. And then lastly, these are just examples of murals in different communities. And what we want out of this is a painting directly painted on a wall. There's a couple of different interpretations, and overall, we would like to see this type of art in our community, high caliber, vibrant, and unique to El Centro. So that's pretty much all I have. I don't know if you have any questions regarding the guidelines or the process.
Council members, Councilmember Oliva.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I think this is great. Beautiful. I plan to support it. I have a question in terms of interested artists that want to participate. Do they need to submit to you and your department a proposed rendering of what they plan to do prior to?
Yes.
Yes.
The artwork is they would need to submit what they're proposing to do. And also proof of other work maybe they have done in the past. We do have an application also that includes a couple of questions. And this is a way in order to screen what is going to be painted on the wall. We did have some restrictions on, I believe it said something like no political statements, or selling a brand, again, uniqueness is what we're looking for. And so that's why we need to see what is being proposed before selecting an artist.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? I will share with you, we also had the opportunity to take a look at this, the proposed policy that's in place through our Friends of El Centro. And so there has been a lot of work, I think. Ms. Adriana, just to share, I think you've done a great job in speaking to other local artists, right? It also is important. We can't just put a policy in place without hearing, right, from our local artists that could take advantage of these opportunities. In that discussion that we had, we also talked about the vetting process and showing the renderings of their work, to the responsibility that also would take place to making sure that within those 5 years, the upkeep of the actual mural is in place so that it also remains a beautiful art piece. So there's a number of vetting that has taken place and discussions that have taken place. And so I'm just really excited. I thank you, council members, for allowing us to have the 35,000 through Measure P to beautify our city, just as we did with our utility boxes. I see this as an enhancement in our community as well. So thank you for that, Ms. Adriana. A motion has been made by Councilmember Tomas Oliva, seconded by Councilmember Sonia Carter. Please vote. Thank you. That item has been adopted 5-0. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 17, discussion and any necessary actions regarding the award of the 2023 Street Overlay Project. Mr. Abraham Campos, Public Works Director, City Engineer.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. I bring here today an item that helps our community here. But before I do that, I do want to put in a plug for another project.
Is it going to cost us money, Mr. Abraham?
No. Yes. So it's a happy that day. On July 25th, 8 a.m., we're inviting the public to join us for the groundbreaking ceremony of the Imperial Avenue extension. So that project is ready to go. We awarded in the last meeting, and we're scheduling this Tuesday coming up at 8 a.m. at the intersection of Imperial Avenue and Wake Avenue, so we can start kicking some dirt and moving some equipment around to get this thing built. Just wanted to throw that out there. I couldn't go without congratulating our new city manager. Looking forward to working with you for many, many years, and just keep building El City of El Centro. So,
Yay.
thank you. And to Adriana and staff on the Parks and Rec month, so congratulations on that. All right, so now that Adriana gave us a couple minutes after the Adriana meeting and Cedric meeting.
Oh, my gosh.
So let's, I have
You're not
a,
bitter, right?
so we have this project which gets us into the core of public works and something that's very visible to the community, our streets. During the pandemic and through other priorities, we've not done as many overlays and maintenance. We're picking that back up. We've been doing new construction, new extensions of roads, and right now we're focusing on bringing those projects back up. For the new members, usually we do about $1.5 million contract per year, more or less. This one is higher, and it's because it's a cumulative years that we held on the money, making sure that we can deliver a bigger project. The other thing is on this project, it was designed in-house. I can't go without thanking our engineering staff, Andres Miramontes, Felix De Leon, Gabriel Martinez, as well as our techs for doing inspection at Omar and Hector going out there. And the crazy financing that goes to this. We did put it out to bid. We get two bids, Rove Engineering and Hazard Construction, with Rove being the lowest bidder. We are recommending the award to be made to Rove as we move forward. Going back into the puzzle, how we got this funded. There's no general funds, and you'll see that in your agenda items, but there's quite a bit of different funding sources coming up to make the 3.7 that we need for this project. From SB1, which is a gas tax, Measure D, some leftover Measure D bond that we found that we've been saving to move along in projects, to Measure P for some of our local facilities, as well as water enterprise and wastewater enterprise to do some city parking lots. There was so many funding and puzzle to be sorted that this project required a spreadsheet in the back of your agenda just to kind of piecemeal the funding sources. We're asking for a little bit of additional funding from the 205 account, which is our LTA, and 299 Measure P of $59,000 to complete the parking lots that are being proposed in this location, in this project, which, going back to the presentation, includes Fire Station 1, Fire Station 2, and Public Works parking lot, and actually Buckland Park. No, it's in Schedule C. It's not there. It's in Schedule C, Adriana. That's in there. A lot of the streets are going to be rehabbed and maintained. There's a small sample of them here on what we're doing from slurry seals to mill and fills throughout the city. So a lot of work will be happening later this summer and throughout fall, as well as some of our major arterials, including East Main Street and Wake Avenue and Ross Avenue. So Ross Avenue will be resurfaced from 4th Street to 8th Street. Striping along every street that we touch will be placed brand new. So we have nice shiny striping on black roads. So with that, we're recommending awarding the project to Rove Engineering with the additives 1, 2, 3, and 4 due to the budget, and approving the funding as requested, as I mentioned, on the additional Measure P of $59,074.89 to that account, as well as $29,620.41 to account 205. So with that, I'm looking for recommendation to approve the resolution, adopt awarding this contract, as well as signing the project budget.
All right, council, I'm bringing it back. Is there anyone who has any questions for Mr. Abraham? Councilmember Oliva?
I do. Abraham, can you tell me the budget request for fiscal year 24? Is that something that was already in the budget and we voted on and that's good to go, or is this
Yes.
additional? That's
No, so going back to this spreadsheet, all the funds that you see on the top of the screens, that's already budgeted. It's in the budget book for fiscal year 24.
the bottom.
The only discrepancy is that we need a little bit more beyond what was approved in fiscal year 24 in the amount of 59,000 to make the gap, but we can fund, I believe it was the fire parking lots, which were higher than we expected.
Okay, no, that was the one confusing part for me, but you explained it. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? None? At this time, then, I would ask for a motion and a second to adopt resolution number, Madam City Clerk, the resolution number?
77, ma'am.
Thank you. 2377. Please vote. Thank you. Item is adopted. Number 23-72, resolution of the City Council of the City of El Centro awarding the bid and authorizing the execution of a contract for the 2023 street overlay project. Thank you, council members.
Thank you.
All right. Moving us on to item number 18. We will now recess as the city council meeting and adjourn to the successor agency to the redevelopment agency. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Member Carter?
Present.
Member Oliva?
Present.
Member Garcia?
Present.
Co-Chairman Marroquin?
Present.
Chairman Cardenas Singh.
Present. All right. We have two items under the successor agency to the redevelopment agency. Item number 18, discussion and related action regarding the sale of surplus land along Holt and Heil Avenue. Presentation by Ms. Adriana Nava, Community Services Director.
So Honorable Mayor, this is an item that has come before you. And so now we're closing up the loop on this one item. So you may recall that redevelopment agencies were dissolved in 2012. As part of that, we had to sell off our assets. And so one of the items in order to do that was to formulate a long-range property management plan. And the long-range property management plan dictated what properties we had in the portfolio and then which ones we were going to keep for government use and which ones we were going to sell. So the item before you is 6 lots on Holt and Heil. You can see there that it's a great infill opportunity. There's residential around it to the north and south as well. And so you just see the 6 lots there. In order for us to sell off this property, the Surplus Land Act dictates the process. The state was pushing cities to create more housing. And so they didn't want municipalities who had some type of land to just sit on it. They want us to be pushing it out so that people could do something with it. For us as a city, it helps in many ways in that it creates more housing stock or new business. And then also the maintenance. It's difficult to maintain properties when you have them scattered throughout the community. And so as we move forward with that, we did follow through with the process. We came before you as a successor agency to declare the land surplus. So that's what we did. And then on October 26th, we did a notice availability to sell the land. And this was hundreds of notices that went out via email that we sent to affordable housing developers across the state. It's a really rigorous process that the economic development team did. At the end, and on December 14th, 2022, one of our locals submitted a notice of interest, Ms. Anna Prince, and she's the owner of Desert Sun Investments. And she intends on building single-family homes. And it is estimated that the construction would take about 7 to 9 months. Obviously, there would still be an entitlement period, very brief. They would site plan review, review of plans, our typical process that we follow in the city. She would follow this process. And we included a concept that could particularly change a little bit. So with the state law, if you build 10 or more units on the property, 15% of those are required to be affordable units. And so what is being proposed at this time is a principal unit in the front that fronts the street, and then an accessory dwelling unit in the rear portion. And so it allows for either rental opportunity for the person living in the front, or allows for, taking care of mother or whatever it may be. So it adds on that additional housing stock. With that said, we do have Ms. Prince here if you have any further questions. But For us, we do recommend the sale of the properties. We have gone through this process and it will alleviate some of the issues that we've been facing in the past with just illegal dumping, weeds, you name the issues that we have in this portion of the community. Any questions?
Council members, at this time, is there any questions?
On this item.
Yes.
Council member, Mr. Oliva.
So I do have a concern, and the concern is not so much on the front end, it's more on the back end, because I think that certainly this entire idea moves us forward into the goals of what the state wants, right? We need more housing, so that certainly is fine. There was something in the prepared, background that was given to us that had me pause, and that is that the revenues that we would get as a community, right, on behalf of the people, that it may have to go to the state, right,
Yes.
as opposed to staying here to benefit us. And do you happen to have any definitive answer as to whether or not that is the case, or is that still kind of up in the air?
For us, it's still up in the air. I did reach out to the State Department of Finance, who governs a lot of these, what happens with the funds, and they have not reached out. So we will get a response from them. It is not clear to me at this point exactly where the funds would go, because we did include that as our long-range property management plan. And when we were dissolving the agencies, the goal was that that funding would go back to the state as the law was written. I mean, whether I agree or disagree, of course, I want us to be able to keep the funds, but we wanted to reach out just to make sure that that was still the case, or if there have been any changes. Because the Surplus Land Act, even the way it's being carried out, it deviated from the norms that were first established.
Okay. So again, thank you for putting this together. And Ms. Prince, obviously, my comments were not directed towards your mission in this. Thank you for partnering with the city and being able to provide and being in a position to work with us to provide more housing. And so, as you could see, my concerns had nothing to do with what you were all working on. It's just on behalf of the people, the back end, what's going to happen with what the community benefits from. And I would really hate for us to have to give it to Sacramento, and I'd rather have it here. I'm sure you feel the same way. And so I just wanted to make sure that we had some clarification. And if there's any update, Adriana, if you could just inform us whenever HCD gets back to you.
Yes, we'll reach
Okay,
out
great. Thank
and
you.
provide you with whatever is mentioned.
Honorable Mayor, City Council, thank you for listening to me. I have a question. What if the funds go to the state? Is that still going to jeopardize my position or not? Oh, it's not, okay. Okay.
They actually, they actually don't go to the state. When the legislation was designed during the redevelopment agency dissolution, what would happen, absent a tax sharing agreement that you could enter into with your major property tax receivers, the funds would be divvied up and they would come back to those agencies within your tax rate areas, which were entitled to a share from your property tax pool. So if they make you do that, and they have not actually been enforcing that for a while, a portion of that money will come back to agencies, not a lot, because it's not a whole lot of money, will come back to agencies within El Centro.
Okay.
It's just a process.
positive thing.
It's a time-consuming process, but it's not necessarily negative for the community.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you at all. It's
No,
just,
it doesn't
as you can
affect
see,
you
that's
at
why I
all.
said it's not so much on the front end, it's on the back end. It's ultimately us wanting to make sure that
Right.
those monies stay here, right? And I think we all can agree with that. And that's just where my concern was.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to affect me for closing escrow.
No, not at all.
This is Luis Andrade. He's with Andrade Construction. He will be the builder for the homes.
And I wanted to add in regards to what the community gets back. When Anna approached me with this project, we went to the area, saw the properties that are there. It's low-income housing. So the approach has always been how we're going to make them different. We're trying to do a little bit things different from what I've gone from this meeting is like the city of El Centro is moving into trying to make the city a little more beautiful through murals, through different things. So the idea that we have is that we're designing the fronts of these homes to reflect a type of construction that is not necessarily what you get in just trying to optimize or trying to maximize returns. There's actually things going in there in design. There'll be different aspects. We were actually talking about it today in regards to the fronts, certain product that we're using, that it's efficient, it's nice, it can be easily modified, and it's nothing that's really been used here before. So I think in regards to where the community gets something, regardless of where the funds go, that's something that we're trying to work on to make sure that we keep on that focus. And when people drive down Holt and Heil, they know that that land, even though the city might have sold or whatnot, that the whole mission of it was still to bring something back. And I think having the ADUs just becomes something extra because we sell homes. And we know that a lot of low-income people don't get the opportunity to buy a home because they're tight on their lending. This puts a rental on their portfolio or on their income immediately. So I think there's a couple things on the design that we've been working on to minimize the cost, make sure that we keep them affordable as well. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. When we talk about the quality of life, we're talking about the investment that's going to take place here in the city of El Centro. I appreciate you taking a look at the rendering of what the front and the entire building is going to look like. We all deserve to live in a nice home, regardless of
I
our
agree.
circumstance. So I appreciate you taking a look at it from that lens.
And the ADU income will help them with their monthly payment as
Yes,
well.
That's right.
They're
Yes,
getting
absolutely.
Like $1,200 a month towards that
Absolutely.
payment, so that's going to be huge for them.
Yes, and that's the beauty of building great partnerships with
Yes.
individuals as yourself and builders as yourself. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, council members, any other questions? All right, at this time then, wow, okay, that was quick. There was, the item passed, great. Adoption resolution number 23-02, resolution of the successor agency to the City of El Centro Redevelopment Agency approving an agreement for the sale of real estate property to Desert Sun Investments Incorporated. All right. Item 2 on this successor agenda, number 19 on our city council agenda, discussion and related action regarding the declaration of certain surplus properties owned by the successor agency. Presentation by Ms. Adriana Nava.
So Honorable Mayor, this second set of properties that we are working on, as mentioned, the Surplus Land Act has a process that we needed to follow. And so we started with the first 6 lots and we wanted to move on from there. As we moved forward, one of some of the properties that we get the most inquiries from are located on Industry Way. Industry Way is the area where Rogar is at. That whole street, we have a city incubator. And then within that portion, there is a couple of lots that we're interested in declaring surplus land. So again, we're going to follow the same process that today council, if approved, will determine if the land is surplus. If it is declared surplus, then we move forward again with the notice of availability. And so it is sent out to different districts, entities. Once we go from there, and if we don't receive a notice of interest from one of them, we can dispose of the property and use it, fair market, whatever that is determined to be. We do an appraisal for each property as we move forward. And then when it goes to sale, we do another appraisal if 6 months have passed to ensure that we have our pulse on the market. So these are the 3 properties that we are proposing to declare surplus. There is one that is, it appears large. In reality, it's about 5 acres and a little bit more. But there is a street dedication for a street that would go north-south. And so that was included as part of the map. And so it reduces the lot size quite a bit. And so we have seen some interest in this property, but that has been a deterrent for some of the individuals who've looked into it. The other ones are a bit smaller, but we've also received a lot of interest on those from some of the adjacent parcel owners who want to move forward and either build a business, expand their business. I know Rogar has sometimes mentioned additional storage they needed. So it just depends. But we do get a lot of calls on these. So with that said, I don't know if there are any questions on the process, the properties. Right now we have, I believe, ordered appraisals for some of these, and we're going to start the process and see what transpires.
Council members, any questions on this item?
Is the green line that's depicted here, is that where the street would go?
Give or take,
It's a connection to
it's-
industry?
Yes,
Yeah.
it would go north. And so we've looked at it a couple of times. There is another portion.
Where would be the outlet to that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Oh, it would head northbound. This is the property here. Can you see it?
Yes.
And it would go this way.
Oh,
You see that? Because
yeah.
in El Centro, one of our challenges is the north-south roadways, and this is way towards the eastern portion of the community. And so it was included that way. I don't know if our Public Works Director wants to speak on it further, because we did revisit this item to see if maybe we wanted to remove that. And the thought is, yes, we still need a north-south roadway in that portion of the community.
So does that mean, Adriana, that in the future, if all goes well, Industry Way would connect to Earl's Road? Would that be the connector?
That's correct. So right now, it's all in the planning phase. And when we approve our circulation elements, mobility elements, and general plan, we got to look at circulation not only now, but in the future, and making sure that we're setting aside the right-of-ways that we'll need one day. This is very critical as part of the circulation element, the mobility element, to have a north-south. As you can see, this whole quadrant east of Dogwood, there's really no connection south of Main Street to get us to Ross or anything like that. So this connection would go to Rose. That's the intent right now. Whether that deviates a little bit east or west, that's something for future development coming off of Main Street to work out. But we need to be able to provide an avenue at this point to connect to Industry Way and hence to Ross. That connection between Ross and Main Street needs to happen. That's how the mobility element was modeled.
Thank you for the clarification on that and for the explaining of what the future, right, will look like in that area, or at least proposed to be. Any other questions from our council members? All right, at this time, I'm asking for a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 23-03, a resolution of the successor agency to the El Centro Redevelopment Agency declaring pursuant to Government Code Section 54221 that certain properties owned by the successor agencies to the redevelopment agency of the city of El Centro are surplus and not necessarily for the agency's use. So I have a motion made by Councilmember Tomas Oliva, seconded by our Mayor Pro Tem. Please vote. Thank you. That item passes
Thank you.
5-0. All right. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn our successor agency meeting and reconvene to the City of El Centro meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor, please indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Wonderful. Thank you. Back to our City Council agenda. I know on our agenda here it says legislative action, although we do not have legislative action. We will have some legislative updates that will be taking place from some of our council members who chair legislation, informational items from 20 to item 20, 21, and 22. So then I will move us forward to task force reports. Council member Ms. Sonia Carter, if you'd like to report out.
I attended the Assistant Living Committee. I actually had the honor of going and sitting in their meeting with them, their board meeting, and they're interested in providing a facility here in El Centro, and they're writing up a proposal to bring to the council. And I was just sitting and listening, and it's very interesting, the care and those who have elderly parents, and that just hits home. You see that the care that is needed here in the valley, not just El Centro, but just in the valley. But I'm glad El Centro, they picked us to be a part of that. So we will see the outcome of that soon. And the transportation meetings, I have attended 5 of those. We have a committee that we get together, and we're talking about the upcoming transportation meeting. The flyer should be out soon. It's going to be on Thursday, July 27th at the community center from 5:30 to 7:30. So this is going to be a community event, and it's going to be very nice for people who do not understand how to navigate the transportation. And it was interesting sitting with David myself and trying to figure it out, and him giving us a quiz on it. So it's going to be interesting. So people do need to come out and learn, because it's going to be interesting. And I did attend the Film Commission meeting as well. And we talked about the fiscal year, that's the upcoming fiscal year, and the economics of it, and just introducing ourselves. There was quite a few people that are joining in, and I was one of them. This was my first meeting. So we're going to be having our next meeting next month and seeing what proposals we can bring to the Imperial Valley and see what's next for us on that film commission. And then I also had the honor of attending the El Centro Regional Medical Center Hello Summer Fest event that took place at the mall Saturday. Very nice, very organized. It was a very good event. A lot of people there supporting the event. They had people that were dancing. They had different booths, and I do have to say that from my personal experience, we do have a wonderful staff at the El Centro Regional Medical Center. Very, very wonderful staff. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, council members. Carter. Councilmember Oliva?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So colleagues, since we last met, I participated in the Public Safety Task Force with Mr. Garcia, and it was a very interesting conversation, because it seems to be that there is an interested party that wants to open a steakhouse and card room in the city. And I find that very interesting, because you're probably hearing card room and how can that happen? And we were very well informed that there is a entity in the city that has a grandfathered license for card room in the city of El Centro. And that is now going to, hopefully, if their plans go well, will be transferred over, and one day we will be able to have a nice steakhouse / card room to be able to take your loved ones to, or your friends, to be able to enjoy, right? And have a little bit of that, like, just kind of flair of a good date night place. At least that's how it was presented. And I think it sounds like a really good idea to kind of bring it out from the alleyway to the forefront and be able for it to be. So it was really nice. And obviously we talked about the next steps of the new police station. And so we're looking forward to all of that. Next is AB 918. So this is the legislation for the hospital district. And since we last met, many of you know that it was presented in the State Senate Governance and Finance Committee. And we had a lot of folks call in support. The Assembly Member Garcia, who is the author of the bill, amended the bill in order to favor recent developments, and is still open to amending the bill in order to tighten up some loose ends, right? But the bill, again, continues to pass through the California State Legislature with no opposition, meaning no votes from any legislator. And it's unfortunate that I could take the high road and not mention this, but I'm going to say it. There is unfortunately one entity, that in Imperial County that opposes this bill. Everyone else supports it. Everyone else. And so the reason why I say that is because as open as we are to hearing folks having concerns and whatnot, one entity's opposition is not the reason to completely stop when everyone else is on board and wanting to see something happen, right? So under the direction of the mayor, my colleagues, right, we're not letting fear guide us, but we are allowing some concerns to make sure that we're getting things right. And so that is why AB 918 now moves to its penultimate stage of the Appropriations Committee in the Senate, then it'll go to the Senate floor. And from there, it's pretty much onto the governor's desk. The highlight here is that it now has an urgency clause, which means two things: that the voter threshold now goes up to requiring 2/3 of the legislature. Again, it has not received any no votes, so there is reason to believe that it'll continue to receive unanimous support. And that also means that once the governor signs it, rather than waiting until January 1st for it to become law, it immediately becomes law. And so the timeliness of this is on our side, right? Because we need this to be timely. And I just want to thank my colleagues for being behind the legislation and knowing that this was going to be the quickest avenue towards addressing our concerns about healthcare in Imperial County. We had said it from the very beginning, folks were cautious and skeptical about whether or not that was true, and it turns out it is true. It was the fastest route for us and for the residents of Imperial County. And so I thank Mr. Garcia for helping out, right, and being there and advocating and highlighting certain things that we need to do. And we have this next month, which is the recess of the legislature, to, while they break for session, this is the time where we go into nerd mode, so to speak, to be able to dive into the language of the bill and make sure that we're fine tuning it, make sure that by the time they get back into session, we're comfortable with what it looks like. And so obviously our work before us is to continue to work with Assemblymember Garcia's staff and make sure that the bill reflects in the best interest of the community. So that is what is before us. El Centro Regional Medical Center held its budget workshop since we last met, and we were able to be presented with the current budget of ECRMC. I have to say that I was hopeful walking out of there, right? Just to kind of give you a caveat or just some talking points, and that is before this council became Board of Trustees for El Centro Regional Medical Center, about average, they were losing about $4 million every month. And then by the time we took over, we made some adjustments, it was like $2 million a month. Now we're talking of less than $1 million a month that we've been able to tighten up. And so there are efforts to tighten up the fiscal aspect of it, right? And triaging our budget is something that we definitely addressed. And so it doesn't solve all of the problems, but certainly we're in a better financial situation than when we found it. And I think that's the takeaway from there. Since we will not meet for a while, I think our next meeting we're dark, is that right? I do want to say that tomorrow, IVC is hosting its Fentanyl Awareness Summit from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So should anyone want to be interested, right, there's going to be partnerships with the district attorney's office, with the Mexican consulate, and I believe they'll have somebody from the Drug Enforcement Administration present as well to talk about fentanyl and its presence in Imperial County and what enforcement efforts are being done. And also Legislative Day, the Imperial Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce is going to be hosting its Legislative Day Mixer this Thursday evening in our old post office. And that, Madam Mayor and colleagues, concludes my report.
Wonderful. Councilmember Garcia?
Well, like my colleague, Councilmember Oliva stated, we had the Public Safety Task Force meeting. We've also been working very diligently with AB 918. There's been a lot of moving parts with the hospital as well in terms of the budget workshop and having those meetings in order to make sure that we can have a fiscally sustainable entity to go into this new district, which is the ultimate goal. I have to thank all the diligent work from my colleagues, the amount of meetings that we've had, the discussions that we've had, the meetings that we've had with the Assemblyman's office. It's just, it's been a lot of work, but we're finally seeing we're seeing the fruits of our labor. And this is going to be something that's going to affect the entire county. It's very, very important legislation. It's something that a lot of people have gotten behind because they see that this is a defining moment in healthcare for Imperial County. And we will not be looking at the same structure of healthcare that everybody has become accustomed to. We're building something larger. We're building something better. Most importantly, we're building something that's united and that will benefit everyone through the four corners of this county. And that's the most important aspect of this legislation. So we will continue to do so, like Tomas said, they're going to be in recess. That gives us the opportunity to really jump into this bill and really work with the stakeholders in order to make sure that everything keeps going along as scheduled and that we can capitalize on the achievements that the legislation has already gone through. So that's something that's very, very important. We're going to keep working on it, even though we will be dark for the next meeting and legislative session is in recess. There is still a lot of work to be done. And that's something that we're looking forward to make sure that we can keep this momentum going, because it truly is remarkable that so far the committees have been unanimous. So far the assembly floor was unanimous. Now we move on to the Senate. So that's something that really inspires confidence in the amount of time and effort that has been put into this legislation, because of the fact that people from every walk of life in California that serve in Sacramento right now recognize the necessity and recognize the impact that this legislation can have on this community. And it's a testament to the fact that healthcare is so important that they have all banded together across party lines in order to support this crucial piece of legislation. On top of that, I attended the 4th of July festivities at the Aquatic Center. And that was something to see, for considering that it was on the 4th of July. I believe it was the only event that was actually done that day within the county area. And we had a lot of people there at the Aquatic Center, a lot of kids. They really enjoyed it. They had the obstacle course activities. It was just a good time. So had the pleasure to do that. Last week, I attended the League of California Cities Board of Directors meeting in my capacity as the district director for Imperial County. That was a very nice little workshop. We dealt with a lot of legislative priorities for the League of California Cities, including housing, healthcare, crime prevention, and basically all of the main issues that California is facing right now. They've been very aggressive in lobbying in Sacramento with a lot of these bills that have been passing through the legislature. They've been successful on some points and unfortunately have fallen short in others. But that, I think that we define ourselves not by the victories, but by the failures, because it only inspires people to work harder to make sure we get something done in the future. If we can't get it done now, it's no time to quit. It's no time to fail, because these problems are not going to go away. They are going to continue to plague our population in California, going from the smallest cities all the way to the biggest cities in the country that happen to be in California. We have some very serious issues, and we share a very, very core nexus with these issues from different population bases. And the fact that the League of California Cities has united in order to try to support this legislation and to try to draft new legislation in order to address affordable housing while still being responsible about it, in order to address homelessness, which ties right into the event that Councilmember Oliva just mentioned, the fentanyl crisis that they're going to be having at IBC, the workshop. That is a very big issue tied to homelessness, and that's now being acknowledged as a core issue where all of these issues are interrelated. So there has to be a approach to attack them on multiple fronts. It's not a simple solution because these are complicated problems. Complicated problems will have complicated solutions that come from different ways to view the problem. So it's just comforting to see that we have a very, very large entity like the League of California Cities that has united the cities throughout California in order to try to get some of this legislation done. And they're very, very focused on these core issues, and they do work diligently towards it. And just the amount of information that they share with us for us to bring back to our individual communities and share that information with our local elected officials and interested stakeholders. That is one of the ultimate benefits of being a member of this organization and being able to see how the legislation that they've sponsored, the ones that have been adopted, has basically started from infancy. They've been talking about proposing some of this legislation for years, because I've been involved with them for years. And now it's getting to the point where some of these groundbreaking bills are being passed. And I expect that while the problems and the problems aren't going away anytime soon, these solutions are going to take time. But the fact that we're working towards it, passing this legislation and continuing to lobby for more measures is going to be something that we're going to see have an impact on all of our quality of life, not only in this city, but in different cities in this county and also throughout California over time. So it's very comforting to see that everybody is still working diligently and trying to work towards these agendas in order to solve these issues at a local level throughout the state of California. So that's something that I was very, very honored to be a part of, and that's what I did last week. So
Wonderful. Thank you for that report. Just to be mindful, we will be ending our meeting at 9 o'clock. So with that, please, I'm asking for us to be concise.
Okay, so I was also at the 4th of July pool party at the Aquatic Center. We also held the CCC, the Continuum of Care Executive Board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and they reported on the point in time count, and unfortunately, the numbers of unsheltered individuals in the city of El Centro have gone up. It's not an alarming number, but they have increased. Was also at the ECRMC budget workshop. I also had the honor of welcoming new members to the Imperial Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce. They held an orientation for them at the chamber office, and so I was there to represent the city of El Centro and to thank them for selecting the city to establish their businesses. Along the lines of businesses, I also served as a judge at an event that was held last week. It was called the Mujer Emprende. So these are women entrepreneurs that have gone into business. This event in particular was co-hosted by the Small Business Development Center of the Imperial Valley, as well as the Mexican Consulate. And so they had 5 candidates that were competing for a prize, and they then took 3 minutes to present their business concept. We also reviewed their business plans, and the winner at the end of the evening won a $2,000 cash prize, a new laptop, and several vouchers for services and so second resources that they can tap into. Let's see, tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We have the Community Enhancement Task Force meeting and the Downtown Ad Hoc Committee meeting. So that concludes my update.
Thank you for being so concise. Just want to take this opportunity to share. I know that I had received, and I'm sure many of you have received, comments and feedback from constituents of the city of El Centro. And I just want to clarify and just to give light to, in regards to the 4th of July. The city of El Centro was never the sponsor or the host for the IBC Freedom Fest. It was never a City of El Centro event. That was a collaboration of multiple agencies. And I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Adriana, it was a series, correct, through the IB regional chambers. And I don't know if you have any KXO, I'm sorry, with KXO. So many times we receive phone calls and concerns of why isn't the City of El Centro having the IBC Freedom Fest. And so I just want to go on record to clarify that that was never a City of El Centro event. The City of El Centro continues to be very committed in celebrating, of course, 4th of July and the great respect that comes with that holiday. And in that celebration, we have our events at the Aquatic Center that allows families to come in and celebrate a beautiful 4th of July with free swim and many activities. So the City of El Centro remains committed to our community to provide a 4th of July event. All right, so I wanted just to go on record with that. Just real quick, many of the task force committees that are ongoing on a monthly basis, wanted to share, of course, had the opportunity to go to the El Centro Library on July the 13th, which we had our IID water safety Dippy Duck who came to the El Centro Library. It was almost standing room only. And we think about Dippy Duck and what it really means. And what it means is that it's talking about water safety for children. And we want to make sure that that life skill and the life importance behind understanding not swimming in canals and that partnership with the IID is important to continue to give that message. And with the IID's donation as well, that also has afforded the opportunity for individuals to have swim lessons at our El Centro Aquatic Center. So I wanted to highlight that. Got the opportunity to visit 2 downtown improvement businesses that opened. One is the Joy Juice, which is where the previous Boat Rights deli was at. And it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful new rendering in regards to the upkeep and the changes that have taken place. So it's a good place where you have history and you have the present, right, of a new business. So that was great to see. And also had the opportunity to visit the Victory Outreach Church that was the previous Sager Radiator Shop. So we're seeing that businesses in the downtown area are investing and bringing in businesses or opportunities here in the downtown area. And I will then end with that and move it over to our city manager report.
Okay, I'll do it really quick. So I had fun at the Far Out 4th of July pool party. Thank you to the staff at the Aquatic Center. I floated around that, the lazy river plenty of times. It was super cool. Also attended the Library Magic Show that was hosted at the library. Same thing, standing room only. A lot of kids taking advantage, and the parents also taking advantage of the services out there. I want to thank the HR department for a training development course that we had for supervisors and department heads. That was the power of the pen, along with the city of Imperial and other cities in the county. So that was great. Also attended the Lithium Valley Workforce Development and Economic Needs Assessment workshop that happened here in El Centro. And it's looking at the potential for, obviously, education and training that's going to happen in the Imperial Valley as a result of Lithium Valley. So I had the opportunity to actually connect with some of the people that do some of that type of training and will need facilities to host trainings locally. On July 11, we actually had the swearing ceremony for One Equipment Mechanic 1 and our public information officer who's here with us tonight. We welcome Mario to the team, and he hit the ground running. He's been busy doing great work for the city. We also had a downtown walkthrough with staff. It was kind of warm, so we did stop at Joy Juice as well, right? And we got some lemonades, and then we kept on walking, looking at some of the items that need attention in the downtown area. And lastly, a couple more items. The Library and Community Services Board, I attended along with staff. And then we also attended the Energy Source Minerals presentation in Calipat, which is also related to the Lithium Valley potential development. So there's a lot of exciting news and a lot of development that can come out of that for the whole county. End the report.
Wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is adjourned. Good night. Great.